Hey, how's it going? So, we left off Schoonover's piece. I kind of got to where we had to start making like smart decisions. Um, what's up, Ziggy? Uh, and realized that it was like 9:30 at night, and I did not have the capacity to make smart decisions anymore. So here we are again. Sketchbook challenge is going good. I've now done two different Hulks. Both have failed for different reasons. Something I used to love drawing the Hulk when I was in school, and it has something to do with like his relationship to the page that like I'm not fully wrapping my head around or something. Like I think that I was just like more practiced and better when I was in college than I am now, but that's okay. We're getting there. So far I did a count today. I've done 14 drawings. I'm including some inking stuff in there. Out of, I don't know, what day is it? The 19th. So 14 out of 19. So I missed 5 days so far, for January. But we're going to try to do better than that for February. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Yeah, I did Hulk for my animation final. Yeah, back in the day. Man, I wonder where those are. Those still online somewhere? Maybe. I mixed it to RJD2. That was really fun. Man, I forgot all about that. Yeah, I really liked drawing the Hulk back then, and I don't know, I can't wrap my head around it now. But anyway, let's get into this. Schoonover's piece. This is where we left it yesterday. Although this isn't quite where we left it. You see there's a little bit of history on the side. Let's back it up. So I noticed that Brent didn't threshold the lines. He's not really doing any like gray tones or anything in here. It's pretty much black and white. I mean, I guess this is a little bit gray, but excuse me. But he just wanted to make rough asteroids, you know? And I think that we can just do that for him. So I'm going to threshold the line art. Just because it's going to make it easier on us down the road. So it got a little chunky, we lost a little bit of the detail in the asteroids, but we're going to replace that detail with detail from us. It's got to be weird as a line artist because you're thinking about texture and stuff like that, and you know you want to do the best representation you can, but you also are like locked into black and white, you know? I mean, you're not always locked into that, but you are sometimes. Anyway, the point is, we got you. That's the point. All right, so let's figure out what we're doing here. So it's in space, and I was gonna do like a like bounce light thing, but this is what I was thinking. So let me move the mic a little bit here. We're gonna do a little drawing on a separate layer to kind of like figure out where my head is at. So not a new group. There we go. So we have Mr. Miracle. I was thinking about coloring Mr. Miracle kind of separately. Like so you got the parademons and they're lit from behind, right? So this is what I was thinking. If the red is like their normal color, I was thinking, okay, we're gonna do a little bit of blue light source, like we can actually a little bit of blue light source, and then the white like backlight, so that like they kind of like are not really their normal colors, you know? They're kind of like washed in blue. But then down here with Miracle, like he needs to like read better. Like these guys are gonna read in blue light, no problem. Miracle, I'm not sure if that's gonna work because like if we wash his body with blue, like it's gonna look kind of weird. So I was thinking instead of like lighting it like this up here on the top, we could light it like this kind of thing, so that we keep him in like more primary tones because his suit is like very very bright, and I feel like when we start washing it out we lose like who Mr. Miracle is, you know. We got to kind of try to keep that in mind. So with that in mind, let's figure this out. Let's play with the color. So we're gonna go in to we made this alpha channel the first time around. If you don't remember or you are new, then this is kind of just our lights and shadows that we put down. We didn't include this stuff, so I'm gonna delete the kind of like whiter areas from the boom tube. After last night, you've been looking at pictures of parademons to see why you thought they were green. Yeah, dude. The thing is like, every time a parademon shows up in comics or anything, it's kind of like colors all over the place. Like, you never see a parademon just like going shopping or like, you know, grabbing a quick bite, you know, at like a deli. You don't I don't know. It's the parademon exists in situations where like the color is like all over the place. So yeah, there always seem to be a green base. I mean, their suits are green, so like maybe that's what you're thinking, but like their skin tone is like, I think it's like a normal skin, like I don't know why they did that, because like when you put them in a normal skin tone, we're gonna go grayer, by the way, and see what Brent says. So I think we've achieved what we want to do for our light source here. Like, they're a little bit bluer, a little bit, you know, like whatever. But we want to light up Miracle. Like, we want him to be the kind of the focus of the page. So we're going to make him brighter. Like I said before. We're going to get him closer to where we were before. Before we started like washing this thing with a bunch of different ink, like color washes. Yeah. So now he's like, let's fix these gradients that I put in the cape. So now he's kind of like lighting up, but he doesn't really fit with the parademons that are over here. Yeah, no, the suits, you think the yellow shirts with yellow circles are throwing me off, but like they are yellow shirts with yellow circles, right? Like, hold on. Are we going to start Googling parademons? I know that this makes for a good stream. Hey, Kate. When you guys are like watching me Google something off camera. Like, okay. Like, this is a parademon, right? But like, by making it normal skin tone, it just looks like a guy in a suit. Which, are the parademons guys in suits? I always thought, okay, maybe I just don't understand what a parademon is. Parademons, what are they? Like, maybe a parademon is a guy in a suit. I always thought they were like monsters. You know? Like monsters that were created. Like, these guys look like monsters. But these guys are also like totally covered. So like the costume shifts around like crazy. Like, all right. Because this is important for the stream. Like, these dudes are like normal skin toned. So maybe we should just do normal skin tone. Well, we're washing it in blue, so like I can see those links. Fake McCoy. Hey Nimish. Hey Griff Bandit. What's up? Glad you guys are here. Guys and ladies. Yeah, so I mean maybe it's normal skin tone and we should just like warm up the shadows. So here's like a technique that I do a lot where like if it's supposed to feel warm, like if it's supposed to register as warmth, like skin's supposed to be warm, I will warm up the shadow and leave where the light is hitting it. Like this does not register as warm. This color is not warm, but like this color in relationship to this color looks warm, even though this is also still not, like we're still washed in blue all the way around, but these two colors together read as like, oh, warm skin, you know? The skin is fine. It's the yellow shirts. They should be green with yellow circles, but like they don't have a they don't have like a, okay, all right, I'm gonna check out this other link that you have, because let's do this right. So I guess these guys are green with yellow circles. Maybe it should be green. Good Lord. What was the reference that I was using? I was trying to look for Superman animated series, because that's my like foundation for everything. I'm sure that you guys also all tuned in for like the semantics of like what is and what is not a parademon. This is sometimes I guess maybe their shirts are like, but like this is like yellow on yellow here. I don't know, man. Like look at these dudes. They're yellow on yellow. Look at that. Yellow on yellow. Like look, I can't help it if the parademons are green in your head but not in the thing. I'm not responsible for your headcanon. That's armor over a green bodysuit. So all right, let's humor Fake McCoy in the chat, and let's try to make the change. Oh man, this change is going to be a pain in the butt. Maybe we shouldn't humor Fake McCoy in the chat. Like, this is the change. I mean, is this better? Is this worse? Humor me. Go for Kirby reference, that's what you do. That's a parademon? Yeah, maybe. You love the colors, keep it. Maybe we should go green. Maybe Fake McCoy in the chat is right. We can warm up the. So okay, here's the problem that we're having now is that like stuff is like blending into each other, but I guess this is what we're here to solve. Anyway, let's figure out Miracle before we figure out the rest of this. So we want to kind of like do Mr. Miracle in like I said, we want to do more regular primary color and less blue. We still want like a little bit of blue. So let's try to like tease just a bit, just a whisper. 5%. Yeah, there we go. 5%, all it takes. Kirby era. People are linking non-stop parademons in chat. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe they are green bodysuits. The whole like harness thing like threw me off. I don't know. Plus like, okay, so they have the same, they're green and gold, and Miracle is green and gold and red. So it's like, how do you get them to separate? So we're going to get them to separate by like tweaking the color schemes on these guys. So maybe we should do Kirby first and then do the rest of the parademons. Kirby. We're gonna do Scott Free first and then do the rest of the parademons. Let's throw like a grad through all the red stuff. Maybe grab all of the red stuff. Throw another grad through it. Just trying to like find our way as far as what the light source on it, so that we can kind of like start painting. Just trying to find our way. No wrong answers. Just making it happen. And he's gonna be like lit from the boom tube, really. So like we're doing dark sides over here, We're doing dark side over here, light side over here. And we can kind of like throw a grad through the cape, and we want it to feel dramatic. So we can kind of screen some. Yeah, there we go. All right, it's starting to look better already. He's also going to be lit by his like. Oh God, do those discs have a name? I'm like not showing off my nerd cred. Chat, do those discs have a name? Wouldn't clash too much with Brent kindly posted this art with 3 other pinups the other day. Yeah. Because you're weird and you're relaxing. You flattered them all. Oh my gosh. You should, Matt Garvey, you should post, I don't know if you're in the Discord, but you should post them in the Discord so that I can repost them. Or post them on Twitter and I'll repost them. I was going to actually post my flats for this up, but maybe your flats are better, because my flats were kind of made for me. You just got new watercolor paints. Ooh, nice. I like it. I've been, so when we started the sketchbook challenge, I bought like in addition to like the regular sketchbook, I bought a mixed media sketchbook, and I have not had the guts to really jump into it yet. So we're just gonna kind of do the regular, all the regular stuff on Mr. Miracle, and then we're gonna handle the other like weirder light sources, the blue and the boom tube color, and we're gonna try to like blend those into what he's got going on. He doesn't look too bad right now, but like we can just, with a little bit of elbow grease, we can polish him up. And we want to keep in mind that we want like the reader like here in the expression and everything. So we're going to work on all the yellow stuff first, and then we're going to move on from there. What mixed media did you get? Strathmore Me is the best versus Kanson's. What did I get? It is right over here. I don't know why I brought it to Tony Stark's lab, but what I ended up getting was the Canson mixed media. But honestly, like, I'm relearning all this stuff all over again with the like what is good and what is bad as far as like art prep stuff. Like I actually, just before we went live with this, I was like, hey, my brush pen is terrible. Like I realized that like part of the reason why I wasn't doing like good Hulk stuff was because I was frustrated with the brush pen. Like he needs to feel bulky, and in order to feel bulky you need different line weights, and in order to get different line weights, I needed like, you know, fine lines, and that did not happen. So we're just going in and doing some like kind of broad strokes of like, you know, how we want Scott to look, putting in some highlights, kind of like tweaking the shadows. You know, no wrong answers. And then we're gonna kind of like go in and paint it from here, you know. And like I said, we want to be here, so we're gonna light everything from this area. What brush pen did I have? I used, because I'm so familiar with Copics from using them at shows and stuff, I got a Copic brush pen. Like I got like a pen set because all the microns that I had like washed out. And I was like, oh, these will be great because I'll like refill them. And now I'm like, I never want to even use these things, to be perfectly honest. So now I have refillable things that I don't care about. Yeah. I think the brush pen is standard for Copic brush pens. Yeah, it was just like not good, which is weird. It's weird that they're not good because the markers, the brushes on the markers are so good. Like they're really like fun and interesting, and you can get really fine details. So I was like, oh, it's like a no-brainer. The marker's good, the pen's probably good, like done deal. But no, it's not how it worked. So whatever. I'll make mistakes along the way, and we'll figure it out. Kevin actually, I have like an old, very expensive brush pen, and Kevin Mellon tweeted at me that he was like, hey, if you still have that thing and it's like in good condition, you can actually replace every single piece of it. So, hey, Nimish is hosting. Thank you for that. So yeah, so I'm like trying to, I don't know, figure out exactly what I should be using. And I realized that, like, you know, a lot of this stuff is like super subjective as well. Like people are gonna like whatever works for them, and people draw differently. So like, you know, it could be that Copics are really good for somebody, just not for me. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm finding my way, but I do want to crack the mixed media book eventually. But I gotta get gutsy enough to do that. That's gonna take some courage for sure. People are talking about brush pens. You like the Copic pens are amazing. If you don't want them, you would take them. I see the actual like nibbed ones, the ones that are like, you know, 0.5 or whatever. Like I got a couple of those, and those are fine. They're just like pens, you know, like they're not trying to do anything crazy. So I think I'm gonna hold on to that. I just don't know if you want the brush pen. I don't know how to get it to you, but you're welcome to have it because I don't think I'm gonna use it anymore. Yeah. So this is like metal. So let's make it like metal. Add some really high highs on it. And I'm just like, you know, with this kind of stuff, with like the trying to model on here, we're just kind of like keeping it loose. Like we want to try to be subtle if we can. Something that I learned from looking at Jordy's stuff is like subtle works. When I started doing comics, everyone's still talking about brush pens. I've never used a Copic, but it makes you feel scared to drop money on it. Yeah, man. So much of this stuff too, like art stuff, is so expensive. Um, Luckily, I'm able to fortunate enough. Like the coloring stuff, like provides me enough money to be able to like be like I'm gonna experiment with this. But like when I was starting in school, it was like, is this the brush pen? I need to know if this is the brush pen because like I can buy a single brush pen and like is this the one to get? I need to know right now. You know, like it's I feel you. All right, let's. Oh, we still got work on these abs. We still got to bring sexy back. I don't know if you guys know this, but you know, I sent some pictures of my abs to Brent, and this is like an actual recreation of like what I look like. It's really nice that he's like including me in all parts of the process here. Um, it's really good of him. I see the chat is awed in silence. Yep, yep, yep. Checks out. Not only do you guys believe me, but you're in awe. Yep, 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 yep. Um, you got Copics. You never buy the sets, especially if you're starting. Yeah, man. So this is in my drawing class. My professor was specific. You'll get this brand, use this tip, use this weight paper, blah 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 blah. Yeah, and largely you use the same materials. Yeah, I mean he probably knew what he was talking about. I certainly do not when it comes to like art stuff. Like I do not know what I'm talking. Well, not. I mean art theory. I know what I'm talking about, but not when it comes to like what materials to use. It's just been too long. Like the last time that I bought stuff was like the likeness and abs is uncanny. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, the last time that I like bought stuff was just so long ago. So I just like it's like I'm all it's happening all over again. So we painted in a little bit of what we want and kind of like with a couple of grads made it work with his abs here. Uh, in fact, we could kind of like take some of these highlights and put them in the face, like light up the face a little bit more, because that is where we want to be. Um, maybe we can. Hey, Panda. We're gonna just like roll a grad through his whole face, just over the whole face. Um, but yeah, when I started doing comics, I was not this subtle. Like it was it was hard cuts, and I was doing like 80% multiplied down, and like I wouldn't tweak it at all. Like it was just like, you know, this is the shot. It was like I was making a cartoon or something, like it was like really, really intense stuff. And I don't know if it was necessarily really working for me. Um, I stuck with it a long time, like I maybe too long. I had like kind of a technique that I was like married to that was just not really working after a while, and I think that everybody else picked up on it long before I picked up on it that was not working. Let's put some white highlights in. So, all right, all right. Now we're looking good. We're looking good. Um, we're keeping it here. We're gonna, I guess, work on the redder parts now. red like anything in Photoshop. Red's tough to use because you can't really go lighter because it'll turn pink, like I said before. I've said many times before. But let's try to make it like super red. I don't know. Like that's as like high as we can get right here. So let's try to make that work for us. It's going to especially work for us down here because we're so dark. But let's try and make it work for us here too. Whoa. That is not the right tool. Yeah, so yesterday I was talking about some heavy stuff, so I prefer to not talk about heavy stuff today. I'm actually having a good day, and nothing has thrown me for a loop, and made me like try to have to keep my ego in check, and like everything was a mess. Not having a tailspin day, having a regular day. Yeah. Having a good day. Turned in a Rick and Morty cover for another unannounced thing, so I was like stoked on that. And then working on another book after this, so pretty stoked on it. Might watch some movies tonight with the lady. Like that might be a thing that happens. I don't know. Today's gonna be a good day. Everyone's gonna have a good day. We watched like last week we watched The Black Coat's Daughter and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which I hadn't seen yet. Both were real good. Black Coat's Daughter was real slow. It was a real slow burn, and it was super violent near the end. It was a horror movie. It's like not really a slasher, but like it escalated very quickly and very brutally. It was still real good though. Yeah, so we're trying to figure out exactly how to do this neck here. Part of the problem, the reason that we're having a problem putting in highlights is because like this is so much darker. See? Like look at how dark this is compared to like, let's grab this actually. This is a little lighter. It's a little better. I think we should be thinking about putting in darks rather than trying to put highlights in like we were doing on the yellow stuff. But everything is all just like slow build. Like when it comes to like doing the painting part, I'm starting to like enjoy this a lot more. I was saying before that like I would do hard cuts all the time. I think seeing Jordy's work and the success that she has, Jordy Belair, she does like a lot of like subtler stuff when it comes to rendering. And I was like, when I saw it, I was kind of like, oh man, it didn't even occur to me that like that was an option, you know? Like I was so like locked into like what I was doing. Put a little green bounce light on the head there. Whoa, the boiks. Cheers to survival, man. Thank you. Yeah, Jordy, she's great. If you ever have a chance, she does not live in America, so she doesn't do a lot of cons over here. And when she does do cons, she's usually swamped. But you should wait in line because she's wonderful. She's a wild woman, and her book Redlands I'm like a big supporter of. Like it's such a good read. Turns out she's like crazy talented. Oh, you live in Dublin, no worries. Yeah. It turns out, yeah, even beyond coloring, that she's crazy talented. I've talked about this on stream before. When I picked up Redlands, I was like, well, I guess we'll pick up Jordy Belair's book. I don't know. It's probably going to be like okay. And then I was like hooked. I was like, this book is so good. Jordy's so freaking talented. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So she like worked color in such a, yeah, man, this is all just like regular pencil. This is like hard pencil. If there are any plans to do more tutorial style videos, what kind of tutorial style videos do you want? I'll do tutorial stuff all day, but like, I didn't know if you guys like, you know, what do you want to do? We'll do it. The only reason I'm doing this is because Schoonover commissioned these. So he's putting out a new sketchbook. So you'll be able to get these. He's putting out sketchbooks and prints and stuff. So you'll be able to buy this stuff eventually, which is cool. But yeah, we could do tutorial stuff. Whatever you want to see. In fact, if you want to, if you're a subscriber, if you've subscribed to this channel, like twitch.tv's The Boyks and Kate in the chat, and I don't know if we have any other subscribers in here, but yeah, there's a section for people who have subbed, and you can make suggestions for the channel. So if you want to see something, if you want to see, like, if you want the channel to move in a direction or whatever, if you sub, you can get your 2 cents in. Yeah, and you get the great emote, don't look at me. Advantages for pencil versus brush. So, like, okay, I feel like there's nothing that you can't do. Like, when it comes to like modeling like this, like, we're nice and zoomed in. When you zoom out, it looks like very delicately crafted. When you zoom in, it looks a little chunky, but like the line art looks chunky. Like, it doesn't have to. The advantage of using a pencil is that it keeps things in perspective. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to worry about, I don't know, about this stuff, you know, like getting this detail like perfect under the chin, like, you know, it, like trying to fix this like I'm doing right now. Like, this doesn't make things perfect, you know? Like, we're going to be viewing it like this. So like all that detail we did under the chin is like, you try to follow my process, but I'm too damn quick. Yeah, sorry. We can do, so like with something like this, if I slowed down my process, this thing would take 8 or 9 hours. So I'm moving quick because like I want to get this done in like a timely fashion. So sorry. But we're gonna also we'll do some slower stuff where I talk about the process more. We'll do that stuff next. So like, yeah, so the brush, if you start to get into brushes and stuff, like, I use brushes, the way they think about brushes versus like pencil is that like pencil will lay the foundation for everything, and brushes kind of like do special effects and things like that. So like if I wanted like a toothy like kind of texture, like these guys are probably gonna have a toothy texture, so like, you know, the brush kind of like adds that, you see that like tooth in there, and you know, like we'll be able to get in here and do this kind of like toothy, gnarly kind of thing. Like, you can't really do this with an even brush, but like with Miracle's clothing, like it's going to be, you know, it's going to be smooth. It's going to be like he's getting in his superhero outfit. It's going to be, you know, it's not like, if it was like beat up and ripped apart and stuff, I might use more brushes to like put in texture, but mostly you can just use cuts and gradients and use a brush. I'm alternating on the brush between 50% and 30% usually. I bounce between 100%, 50%, and 30%. And then all I do is like grab swatches from like the area around. So like this, I grab this swatch where at 100%, that's way too bright. 50%. We're getting there. Like, but let's build 30% first, and then like see how that looks, and maybe like put in a highlight, like that kind of thing. So you just finished K. Michael Russell's course? Oh, good. And you want my secrets too? Oh no. My secrets, look, not expecting a nice hour video, like 15-minute quickly of how you render an arm with a grad tool. Yeah, I mean, we can do that. We'll get into that a little bit. We'll get into that when we start working on the paradigm and stuff. So first you acquire all of K. Michael Russell's skills, and now you're here to acquire all of my skills. Wait, did you pay? So you're getting my skills for free and K. Michael Russell's for a fee. I see how this is. I see. Yeah. Eisner Award-winning Matt Wilson in the chat throwing shade at my 30 and 50. Wow. Guy wins one Eisner, and he just thinks he can just say whatever he wants. Just the cock of the walk over here. How's it going, Matt? That's funny that like I said it. That you're 40 and 60. So here's my mentality with 30 and 50. Okay. Yes. Nimish, thank you for the Discord link. Jordan Boyd's only video on YouTube discusses brush versus pencil. Oh, there you go. I mean, like, it's really brush versus pencil is about like, what do you like? Like, what look do you want to go for? My mentality with 30 and 50 versus 40 and 60 is like, I can do 2 30s and get close to 60. I don't know if that math works out. I'm just realizing now that I'm saying it out loud, I think that you're getting like, what, 45? Something like that? I don't know. Percents. How do they work? Good Lord. You can have my, yeah. Hey, lay hands. Yeah, percents. How do they work? I don't know. Maybe I should be 40 and 60, but I'm used to 30 and 50. Don't you think 40 is too much? I don't know. Maybe I'm just like stuck in what I'm doing, which we actually just talked about me being stuck doing like hard shadows, and it was a mistake. So I don't know. Maybe I should try new things. We're actually going to maybe this weekend. If not this weekend, then like Monday. We're gonna try to do some full-on digital painting. We're gonna try to make some clouds from scratch, as like an asset for me to hold on to for other projects, like to just drop into backgrounds and stuff. Now we'll probably get into like brushes and stuff in there a little bit quicker, but a lot of this stuff with like, throwing like the grads in and stuff to like render a leg and things like that, it's gonna be second nature, and like there's no real like right way to do it all the time. Like it's gonna be, because no two legs are ever gonna be the same. You just gotta like kind of figure out what works for you. Like, I don't know, I'm just kind of like tooling around until it like looks good, I don't know. All of this stuff is just like experience versus inexperience. Like I've just been doing this for so long that I'm like, oh, okay, now we'll try this, and eventually we get there, which is like not satisfying to hear, but like, just like anything, it's about like putting the time in, putting the hours in. That's why I'm doing the sketchbook challenge, is because like, I'm trying to recoup those skills that I've like since lost from drawing. And by the way, thank you for putting the Discord link in the chat. If you are a sub, you can like push the stream in any directions that you want. Boyk's actually just suggested that I work on a Judge Dredd piece. So I'm in the process of like getting that all taken care of. Yeah, all built on the base of knowledge of life drawing, color theory, knowing that stuff is more important than knowing Photoshop. Yeah, but like, Matt, what's the quick fix? Like, what if we instead of doing years of life drawing and color theory, like what brush makes me a Marvel colorist? Can you share that? Can you just give me the Marvel brush that we can just use? Or does Marvel not let you? Oh, you just hit the color button. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I mean, all this stuff is just like you render enough things and then you're good at rendering things. So like I use the grad tool right there because like this leg needs to pop forward from this leg, but like I don't want to go too dark, but I want it to be even because I want the light to hit it. So it's like, oh, I'll make a shape and use a grad tool. Yeah, Matt and I, by the way, started working at the same studio with Lee Lowridge back in the day. We that was like 2003, I think, way back when. I did some Jimmy Neutron stuff that when we were babies. Yeah, I did some Jimmy Neutron stuff that got fixed by Matt and Lee because I did not do a good job back then. Folks, know your limitations. Here's my Jimmy Neutron story. So we did some Jimmy Neutron stuff for Nickelodeon magazine, I think it was. You forgot about that? Dude, I'm never gonna forget about that. So here's a embarrassing tale from my past that taught me lessons. So I was like, okay, if I can flat this stuff. Yeah, Nickelodeon magazine. Yeah, so Nickelodeon magazine had a magazine out at the time, and or Nickelodeon had a magazine at the time, and they hired a lot of like independent artists, indie artists, to do comics, and it was like actually really neat. Some of those old issues are actually really good. You find like a lot of like really talented indie folks making a good paycheck. But anyway, my mentality was like, okay, Lee doesn't want to do this Jimmy Neutron thing. He's like, this stuff is easy. Here it is. Just go do it. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, I can save some money if I don't flat it myself. But what I didn't realize, because I lacked the experience, was that if I flat something myself, I hit a point where I stop making critical decisions. Like, I've looked at the page too long, and I don't realize I'm making bad choices. And so I like flatted it myself, and it was all greed based. It was like, okay, I can make more money if I do it this way, but it'll take twice as long, and I'll just go do that. And then I was like, it got out of control. So I turn it in, and then like a day goes by, and Lee's like, I don't know what Lee like had a conversation with you, Matt, or like whatever, but he was like, he can't, the pages were bad. They were just very bland, like they if memory serves, were just very normal skin tones, normal. And this is like, I was using grad tools through shadows, and it was like the first time I was doing that, so it was like really like messing with my head as far as like how this should look. And I'm making a lot of excuses, but like the bottom line was that I handed in this bad work, and Matt and Lee like went in and fixed it. And so I show up to work one day, and they were like, they were like, this is what you turned in, huh? And all of my pages were printed out and spread across the floor. And then all of their pages were printed out and spread across the floor. You sometimes have that issue with flatting. Yeah, and like their pages were great, and my pages were bland, and they were like, "This is what you're turning in, huh? This is what the work you're proud of." And let me tell you, that moment is like seared into my brain, and it's like changed the way that I thought about work for a long time. Like I kind of realized that like not only is the work like an extension of like, you know, what is myself. This, yeah, it sounds like it was all Lee. You would never be a dick like that. Yeah, Lee was doing a lot of the talking. I don't even know if you were in the room, but he was like, he might have said like he got you to help him fix this stuff. Probably because he didn't want to do it. He still probably didn't want to do it. But yeah, it kind of like taught me a lesson of that. And then it also kind of like taught me a lesson that like, you know, like he didn't give me more jobs after that. Like he was like apprehensive to do that. I had to go out and find jobs on my own. Because, you know, like he was like, well, I don't know like what I'm going to get from Nick. And even though I learned that like when I start coloring a page, I have a certain amount of time where I'm making good decisions, and then I'm going to edge into, I can't tell if I'm making good decisions anymore. You know, I learned that lesson. And then I learned the lesson that like every single page that you work on ever, and this is true of any like commercial art at all, is that like that page is more than like the page that you're doing now for this project. It is an audition for the next thing. That hurts all the way from here. Yeah, it was a rough lesson, but it was a lesson that needed to get learned. And let me tell you, you can always bounce back. As long as you're persistent, you will always bounce back. Let's put a little bit of green in here because it's looking a little gray. So, Miracle's like pretty much done. I guess we could do like a little bit of green in the... Do like a little bit of color in this thing. And when I say done, I mean like the first step of like what we need to do is kind of done. Man, by the way, I'm glad that like those Jimmy Neutron pages didn't get like published under my name and blah 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 blah. You know, like it was the studio's name, so I got to... The thing about working at the studio was you know, I got to make a lot of like learning mistakes like early on that I didn't have to like put my name on, which was like a blessing. I don't know if Matt feels that about that, like that same way, but yeah. Have you ever worked on a project where you were helping to color pages and you had to emulate the main color style? Yeah, man, I stepped into Powers and like I wanted to be like the first... I mean, we talked about how Bendis gave me like a ton of corrections. Man, we're talking about my failures a lot. So, yeah, I helped Matt on Wonder Woman. Yeah, I tried to emulate Matt a little bit. We're kind of similar, kind of. Since Matt and I both like worked under Lee, like this from here up on this side of the palette over here, this is like a palette that was like honed by Lee and stuff. I don't know if you're still using that, Matt. Did me better than I did. Oh, come on, you're being nice now. But yeah, I stepped in on an issue of Wonder Woman and tweaked that. When I stepped into Powers, I was doing gradients all over the place, and Bendis was like, Nick, please stop. Like, Powers has a look to it that I had to like step in. I think I was like the third colorist on that book, third or fourth. And yeah, so it like that was the first time that to that palette. Yeah, you're still using it? Yeah. Man, old habits, right? That was the first time that I had to like step in on somebody's project and like kind of do what they did. Although NYC Mech, I got to kind of like do whatever I wanted with, but whoa. But I actually ended up recoloring the first trade because the guys wanted to like do that. They were like, well, we're not super thrilled about like how the first 6 issues came out before you came on. Do you want to recolor it for the trade? And I said yes. Nick, please stop, Filardi. Yeah. So like I got to do my own thing with Mech, and then I got to try to make that stuff look like the stuff I was doing after that, which was also kind of weird and like the opposite answer to that question. So yeah, kind of sort of really want to have a closer look at that palette. I don't know if let's see if we can. So there you go. There's a closer look at the palette. Although now, who knows if this is ever going to look right ever again, this stream. So yeah, like this was from like here up was the palette. I made some tweaks. Like I think these are all custom guys down here, but like, and then this is all other custom stuff. But this is a set that's like a palette for a project, like specifically for a project that I haven't gotten around to yet. But yeah, so like this was kind of like back in the day. I don't know exactly how Lee, oh god, the stream is never going to look right again. I don't know exactly how Lee like came around to that palette, if it was like half issued by DC Comics at the time or what it was, but that palette works in CMYK really well. I'm trying to fix this. All right, we're getting close. Yeah, so that palette works really well in CMYK. Ziggy in the chat also working off that Lee palette. So like I think he got it from DC, and then he made some tweaks to it and then gave it to Matt and I because we were working in the studio. I probably gave it to Ziggy, Fake McCoy in the chat. That palette's gone around, and I've made some changes to it since having it. It's not exactly the way that it looked. So I don't know. Yeah, it's been around. Yeah, I feel like, man, sometimes I feel like that palette is a curse more than helping at this point. Only because like I find myself you've tweaked yours too, yeah. I find myself falling into combinations in there that like I'm using like regularly. That's why I'm trying to like do washes more and like find colors that are not necessarily in there. Just to change it up. But like, man, I don't know if you feel like this, Matt, but like a lot of the times it's like oh, you made a do we need to promote your Instagram? You have so many more followers than I do. No. There's the link that oh, that'll do it. Will that do it? All right. Yeah, there's the link that Matt posted to his palette. But yeah, like No. I got you. I was just, and also promoting it. Yeah. uh, but yeah, like at the same time, part of me is like, I need to change up my palette, and then part of me is like, how many different shades of blue am I gonna get? You know, like at a certain point, it's like, guy walks into a red room, it's gonna be red. You know, I don't know. It's tough because like you, as a colorist, especially like late in your, not that we're late in our career, like our career's ending in some capacity, but like, you know, we're like 15 years in, Matt and I, we're like, you know, getting long in the tooth, starting to become the old guys, and we're legacy at this point. But it's like, it starts to become like, I can't make, you're 90% done with your career. Yeah. That the drone career though is just taking off. That's the thing. Get it? Taking off, guys. Strap in. There's hours of this stuff on YouTube. But yeah, it's like, you know, how many, like, guy walks into a red room, it's like you can only go red so many different ways. Like I desperately, I don't know if you do this, Matt, but like sometimes when I have free time, like if I'm like sitting in a waiting room or like on a plane, like waiting to board, one of the things that I do mentally to like, partly to like chill me out and like not be fidgety and weird, but also because I like doing it, is I will try to don't say that, you're the same age and just starting. The only reason I say we're long in the tooth is because we've been just doing it for a while. It's age of career, not age of our age. But I will sit there and I will try to think of a color that doesn't exist, which is like impossible. But I think that it's like a good exercise. Like, I'm looking at the commentary on Red Max hair. My turbulent go-to. What does that mean? Turbulent go-to. Does that mean it's not working? I'm doing what you say and it's not helping. Yeah, we gotta get Matt actually on the show at some point. On the stream. But yeah. Hey, Griff. You subscribe. Graffiti Bandit 1 just subscribed. Thank you very much. Welcome to High Society. Now you get to have the emote, don't look at me. Yeah, man. What are you doing this weekend, Matt? I mean, maybe we should talk about this off stream. I'm like, yeah, let's work out the details right now, publicly, while everyone's watching. I'm a professional. I do this all the time. This is a shit show. Everybody go watch something else. Let's no. Let's plan our next few months on here. Yeah. So what secret projects are you working on, man? Let's talk about it publicly. Oh God. This is a disaster. Anyway, God, it's 4 o'clock already. We are not going to get done with this. We're slowly ebbing into part 3 because like I'm joking around with chat and not freaking busting my ass. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know where this is going. This chat is off the rails. But not do it with you on a mic. Yeah. Like you'll speak to me, it won't show up on stream, and then I'll interpret what you say. To like, follow, and subscribe on right up here. Instagram and Twitter. Nickfil. That's how, like, you can actually make Eisner Award winning Matt Wilson very happy by following me on Twitter and Instagram. That's all true. You can take that to the bank. So okay. We're gonna at least finish Mr. Miracle. I was talking about this earlier on stream. Let's kind of like finish the sides, like glows on his side, and then we're gonna do the same with the boot. And then let's add like a blue light source behind him as well. The same blue light source is hitting all the parademons, but you know, we gotta keep that on Mr. Miracle to make like the whole piece like make sense, essentially. I wonder if we can just, yeah, there we go. So it's kind of like lit from below. That's probably fine. We want to go all the way around on this thing. I'm trying to emotionally get it together, so that I'm focused up. Focus up. There we go. Looks like this thing is lighting the boot. Das Boot. There we go. All right. Now we're gonna add that blue highlight. This is kind of like a weird shape that I was struggling with earlier. I don't know exactly how to fix this thing. Maybe like that. Maybe just throw a grad through it and ignore it. Can't wait to see me and another colorist. Yeah. For Emerald City Comic Con. So this is the first year I'm not actually going to Emerald City Comic Con. I know that was not fielded for me in the chat, but yeah, I'm gonna try to go to I don't know if you're going, Matt. I'm gonna try to go to Rose this year rather than Emerald City Comic Con. The thing about here's the thing. Emerald City Comic Con and C2E2 are both very close to the time that I also have to, pay my taxes like everybody else, like every other modern American. And I feel like what is Rose? Rose is Heroes Con is the colorist con. Yeah. Heroes Con is awesome. Heroes Con is the Comic Con. Like, if you ask me. Rose City Comic Con in Portland, yeah. ECC is a bus ride away, yeah. Yeah, I get you. But yeah, this is the first year that I'm not doing Emerald City, because I feel like I always overextend from Comic Cons, and then like tax season rolls around and I'm like a little bit short like every time. So I'm gonna try to not do that this year. This year's gonna be an experiment. I'm also like within striking distance to get my student loans taken care of, and so I think I might go easy on cons this year, even though like my advice for everybody like is to go to cons. Yeah. T-Bubs. What is T-Bub? Oh, Thought Bubble. Yeah, the damn Atlantic Ocean wasn't in the way. Yeah. I'd love to do Thought Bubble one year. But yeah, so this year I might go easy on Comic Cons. I'm also like trying to figure out, so I think Comic Cons are essential to go to. I think if you want to work in this industry, you should go to Comic Cons. Period. End of story. But I'm also trying to figure out like what the optimum number of Comic Cons are. Like, do you do 5, 6, 12, 3? Like, how do you get like the biggest bang for your buck, like still maintain your presence, but don't like go broke kind of thing. Um, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Figuring it out, pushing the limits, testing things. But Heroes Con is my favorite con of the year. If you guys are in the Charlotte area, that con is so good. And there's like a million artists that like come to that show, and it's all about the comics, and it's less about, you know, video games and stuff like that. It's and television. It's more about like just straight up like original art, prints, you know, like all that kind of stuff. It's awesome. I love it. Swift and tabled for the first time last year. It's goddamn scary. Yeah, tabling for the first time is scary. It took never got around to going back. You should go back. Heroes is real good. Man, so Rico will force you to go to JJ's. Yeah, I've been to JJ's many times. I love JJ's. But I had a lot of anxiety with going to cons for a long time. The thing that I was worried about was like the social acceptance of like figuring out dinner plans and stuff like that. Like I always kind of like was like, I know I'm gonna go to this show and no one's gonna want to get dinner with me, and then I'm gonna eat a pizza alone in a room in sadness, you know, like. But the more that I went, the more I realized that like that feeling is totally unjustified, you know, like that, like you're gonna find somebody to like hang out with because everybody's trying to do the same thing, you know. It's like, I don't know. He lives in Connecticut now. Is there any good shows in Connecticut? I'm from there, and I feel like, you know, I keep wanting to like go back for a show. Every once in a while my family would be like, you should come to this show, and it's like terrible. I don't know. Sounds like a GDQ. Oh yeah, where you have like anxiety about like, I want to go to dinner and I want to go with the cool people, but like I don't know if the cool people will accept me, and then I'm like, and then you're like, I don't know if, you know, like we'll be all right. But then it's like, you know, you're not aware of any shows in Connecticut, yeah. But then it's also like, I've like, you know, gone to dinner with some folks too who are like not like big comic pros or whatever, and like just like dudes who are tabling who are like, hey, we're going to get pizza, you want to go? And I'll be like, yeah, sure, why not, you know, and had like a great time, and like have since seen those people at shows and like enjoyed their company and stuff. It's like, I don't know, I feel like so much of it is, by the way, we just added all that sweet blue light. Let's back it up. So yeah, you always find someone to go eat dinner with. It's I don't know. It's like weird anxiety, unfounded fears. Like we were talking about in the last stream with like keeping the ego in check. You gotta also keep the anxiety in check. And it's like, it's a difficult thing to do. And even if, and this is the thing that I've come around on, by the way. So this is what we're doing. We filled it with like a bright blue color. It's the same blue that like we washed with these guys, the Parademons. And we're just going to set it to screen and kind of figure out how intense we want to make it. Let's do an even 60. There's a New Jersey show in April. They made the news turning down Kevin Sorbo for being conservative. You should come up to it. I have a futon for you to sleep on. I don't know if I'm living that futon life anymore. I don't think my neck and back can handle the futon life, but I will consider going to that show. Although April is when I pay my taxes, so I'm usually broke. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. It's all that anxiety. Like, my advice for getting over that anxiety is to just like get over it. A lot of times I've realized that like Here's the thing. Don't you be beefing on my futon. Ziggy, you don't want me to come over there and beef your futon. That's what I'm saying. No one wants that. But here's the thing with the anxiety. That like I've done enough shows now that I've kind of realized that if I went and got like pizza in my room alone, that would kind of be a mixed blessing. That like an hour and a half of silence would actually be kind of nice. So now I don't worry about it. I'm like, oh, nobody to go to dinner with? Fuck it. That's totally fine. I've also been on like enough dinners where like you're in a packed restaurant and the food is taking forever and you're starving from being like at the table all day and you're just like, oh my God, I just want something fast and quick and like don't want to deal with this. And like, you know, everybody's out there to be social anyway. Like you just get over it. I don't know. Like those are the initial first con, like kind of like worries, you know? I think these cons, by the way, you know, like Lee, can you post the original drawing? Huh. From, the original drawing for this? For the, Schoonover piece? Do you have any advice on how to ask, find constructive and additional feedback on your coloring? Yeah. So, just go to shows that have colorists and talk to them. Like 9 times out of 10, a colorist, if it's not Jordi Belair, like I've gone to shows where like Justin Ponzer, who's an incredibly talented colorist who's been doing this for a long, long time, has been just like, you know, sitting there by himself, just like wait to find like a good, like do a couple laps, find me, you know, like find. I'm reading Find Me. What do we got here? What is this? Oh, yeah. This is the list. Can you guys see that? Here's the Twitter link for the line art. Although I can show you the line art. Like there's the line art. But yeah, if you want to get good constructive criticism, just go to a Comic-Con and walk around and, you know, ask if you can if they have some time, if they want to take a look, and be respectful. You know, if they're like, no, you know, like I'm like ducking out in a few seconds, but if you come by tomorrow, then just be like, all right, come by tomorrow. You know, like, I've always been receptive to people who, oh, we're coloring on the black layer. Receptive to people who like, you know, are trying to learn. Like I will always give time of day to anybody who comes up and is just like, you know, as long as there's no like line or anything like that, like, you know, there's downtime at cons. Like people are there like all day, and unless you're like a superstar that like always has a line, then like you're gonna have downtime. And like I will gladly spend, you know, 10-15 minutes like going over stuff. At the last Heroes Con, this guy Darren brought a laptop over and was like, can you just take a look? And I was like, sure. And he came around the table and we sat down and like kind of just like looked at all his stuff. That's kind of like the best way to do it. But if you need if you like can't make it to a show or whatever, talking about it on Twitter, like just asking people if they have time, might be your best bet. But also, again, be respectful. If people don't have time, they don't have time. You know, like you don't want to come across as like the guy who's like bothering people. But you can ask. Like asking is not a big deal. This is the thing, is like I feel like when you're starting out, people worry a lot about like, oh, I don't want to offend anyone. And it's yes sir, no ma'am, and they're like very formal, and it's not, comics isn't really like that. Like you can just ask somebody if they want to look at your stuff, and if they do, they will say, sure, send it to me. And if they don't, they will be like, no, I don't have any time. Actually, Darren like sent me a book that he had worked on. He sent it to Matt too. I don't know if Matt is still here, but he sent it to Matt as well, and I haven't gotten around to giving him a criticism on the thing yet. But yeah, he'll ping me every once in a while and like ask some questions, which is fine. You know, if I have time, I will answer his questions. So Miracle's looking good, but his cape's looking a little, I don't know, dull. So let's throw a green through here. See what it looks like. I also, you don't often have time to do this, but you have given people critiques via email. Yeah, so like Darren's wanted a critique on email, and I'm like, sure, when I have time to do that, I'll do that. And it's been like months. Yeah, Marissa is always open to talking about stuff. How did you talk to Tony Stark into letting you use his office? Booze. Drove a dump truck full of booze to his house, and then waited for him to drink it, and then now we're in his office. This isn't technically legal. Yeah, no problem. It's tough finding, like, it's especially tough finding good people to bounce your coloring off of, because colorists aren't necessarily as visible at cons and stuff like that. Like, aside from, there's like a handful of colorists that do cons and table, but like there aren't a whole lot, you know? Yeah, I would just be patient, ask people. I actually, if you want like a critique, so if you subscribe, there is a portfolios for review section that you can drop a portfolio into, and I will talk about it on stream if you are emotionally ready for that. Colorists are herded into their own dark corner. Yeah, their own dark, forbidden corner. So, yeah. I think, okay. Here's the thing. We've been rolling for about an hour and a half. We could roll on. We could still work. Let's still work. Let's figure out what we're doing. Yeah, and if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free. So, like, your Prime subscription gets you a portfolio review with me, which is like a weird roundabout thing. But and by putting it in there, by putting it in the subscriber section, it will motivate me to actually give you the review that you want. Yeah, to actually like sit down and spend time with you. And we don't have to do it on stream. Like, we can, if you're like, hey, I'd appreciate you just like talk about this stuff. I'll make like a little vid, put it on YouTube, and then you know, have it be set to private. So yeah, Johnny Lighthands, welcome to high society. Get that portfolio review. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while, and like the whole point of the stream was that like I felt like so by the way, we're trying to figure out how to get the parademons to not blend in with each other right now. So we're gonna make a lot of like, we're gonna do a lot of cuts and grads through the thing. just to kind of make this make sense. You have to go, but have a good day. Yeah, man. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, part of the reason why I wanted to start the stream is because like there's so much like bad information and misinformation out there about coloring that I feel like, you know, I wanted to like, I felt like people were lumping me in with talking about colorists online in a way where I was losing my own voice and getting roped into things that either I didn't like, I felt like it wasn't really like that, or like I didn't necessarily agree with it or whatever. So which not even, it isn't even like a specific criticism to anything that people have said online, but I was just like, I want to have my voice too, you know, like if and I want to also like be able to give you Barry Colors, welcome to high society. And if you guys are subscribing with Amazon Prime, know that it will lapse in like a month. So if you want to resubscribe, you have to actually resubscribe every month, which is kind of a pain, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, like I wanted to, you know, let you guys like have all the knowledge that I have so you don't make the same mistakes as I do, and I help you come up. Like, I think that comics has like an obligation. It's like so much of it is shrouded in like weird secrecy that like I kind of wanted to not do that. I wanted to be an instrument to like, you know, with my like little bit of knowledge that I've amassed over the years, like, you know, let you guys like have a forum to ask questions. That stuff's important to me because I want you guys to make like awesome comics. And I don't want it to be behind like, you know, you have to go to conventions, so you have to live in the area that I'm having to live, you know, like that kind of thing. But like I also can't necessarily like field questions all day, but like I'm on my Discord all the time, and if you guys want to drop portfolios for review in there, the small paywall will incentivize me to handle it. I don't know. It was like a really rambly way to say like, my dudes, I'm here for you. On these isolated one-off pieces, do I find myself using the same palette? I try not to, but like there's certain schemes that like work really well together. Let's think about the demons for a second. So yeah, I try not to, but there's like, you're gonna fall into like a style. So it should be synced up. You'll see here. We can so this is what my Discord looks like. There's like a subs section right here. And you can just drop it in there. You should be able to see the subsection if you are subbed. It might take it a little while to like sync up. Sometimes I find myself reusing the same palettes, but not like consciously. Like I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna use yeah, I don't have it in night mode. I'm never like, oh, I'm gonna use the same palette from this thing. It's less like, oh, these colors work really well together and I ended up in this kind of similar place. But it's also like, you know, how do you convey, like I was saying with Matt earlier, that like guy walks into a red room, there's only so many different ways you can make it a red room. So space has like, you know, this cold, dead feeling, and even though like in reality space has no air, so it would just be like primary colors, you're getting hit by the sun or whatever, it might be a little dim, I guess. I always end up with blue for space because it's supposed to be like cold, you know? So you do something enough that eventually you're like, all right, how do I change up like what this is going to be? I've done 12 cold spaces. How do we do new space? So like if you see like the I put like red stars behind here, we're going to try to tie space into Mr. Miracle's costume a little bit, with like crazy galaxies and stuff. But we are not doing that quite yet. We're trying to make sense of these parademons. So we got to kind of like figure out who we're trying to like silhouette out, basically, with the parademons. Because this is a lot of like visual white noise because it's all the same color. So in order to like get these guys to work with each other, they need to we need to figure that out with value. So we're gonna figure that out. By the way, with the portfolio reviews, I was talking about this before. Like, I feel like a lot of people, there are bad portfolio reviewers out there who are professionals. A lot of them are. It's not like you being bad. It's like them being annoyed in like a weird way where they are taking it out on you. One of my friends said that a buddy of his got a portfolio review from a creator that said, just quit. Like, don't try. Like, looked at his portfolio and was like, you should quit comics. And I'm telling you right now, that is the worst advice ever. And I would never tell you that. You have to make yourself not have night scenes look like the lake scene in Large's Catwoman 37. Yeah. So yeah, Lee does night scenes really, really well. So maybe I'm trying to like figure out how to. We're taking away some of the white of the boom tube. But like, here's the thing too. If you need to rip off palettes to like learn, by all means do it. Like, that's how you learn, how you make it work. And ripping off a palette is, I think, tougher than ripping off a drawing, to be completely honest, because like the drawing's never going to be the same. And then when you try to do the palette, it's going to be like unique to the art. So it's always going to be a little difficult. My phone is buzzing like crazy. So we're trying to use the boom tube light to kind of like, we're like painting out the arm here so that it doesn't blend in as much with everything here. If we go back, let's see how far we can go back. So like, see, like this is like all over the place visually. Like at this zoom, you can't tell what the heck is going on in this area. But now, hopefully it like reads a little better. And that's what we're trying to do. And we're gonna like paint in, because this should be like lit by the boom tube back here, but we're gonna paint that in as like a little lower light than the high highlights that we got going on here. So we need to kind of do that all over, and we're gonna pop like his hand here a little bit more. So we're kind of getting closer. Yeah, and if you have stuff that you want me to color on stream, you can always suggest it in the suggestions if you're a sub as well. Like Book suggested that we do some dread stuff, either in content or like in actual lines you can suggest. I do have the discretion that like I want to do line art that is very professional. So if it's like something that I'm not totally into, I'd reserve the right to kindly decline. But otherwise, you can drop stuff in there if you are a sub. And we're gonna be going a little longer than we've been in the past. Like my schedule was crazy after the holidays, which it always is after the holidays. But now we're kind of in a regular schedule again, so we'll be semi-regular in the week, 2 or 3 times a week, doing coloring. So yeah, I'll be around. We'll be doing stuff in a more brisk pace. This is like a weird spot. I don't exactly know how we're gonna figure this out. I don't know how we're gonna figure this out. Maybe we just like put a little shine under the thing like here, and then just cover this up. Kind of do like that. Maybe that works. Let's see. Maybe we do we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, trying to find a good way to like make all these guys read. This is I'm sorry for the silence, but like this is kind of like melting my brain trying to figure this out. I think we're close. I think all the other rendering will definitely dread. Yeah. I'm excited to do some Dread stuff. It didn't even occur to me because like I never really read Dread as a kid, but you know, because it's like much more of a European, popular in Europe comic. But I'm kind of excited. I'm excited to get out of the comfort zone. You know? So I think we're going to figure out a lot of this stuff with the gold and the armbands and the eyes. How to make this read. I'm kind of just like using the pencil tool to kind of gesture in, like kind of make it a little more painterly, like 50%, kind of just, I don't know, going in and fixing it. Man, we were talking a lot about a lot of stuff the other day, and man, I was talking about tastemakers a little bit at the end. I wish there was a comic book tastemaker, and like I was like, we need more than when I was talking about this, God, like 3 streams ago. Neons. Thanks for the advice, got a dash good stream. Yeah, no problem. Doig Swift. Thanks for sticking around. Just make them all a different neon color. Neons, eh? We just make all the suits plaid, and then they won't blend in. That's on brand with the Boix's stream. He did in one of the colorists jams like a plaid Thanos in a kilt. It was very, very good, high quality. Man, I feel like this is gonna be challenging. This is gonna be something. So like we kind of want to make all of the faces noticeable and recognizable, and the hands noticeable and recognizable. So like we have a problem here where it's like kind of blending in with the fist and the arm. So we're gonna actually, like, even though it wouldn't necessarily look like this, we're gonna darken up the arm. This might be easier to just grab with the wand or the lasso and kind of make it like visually work. So like this is what we're doing right now is like nuts and bolts coloring. Like this stuff is vote Nick for tastemaker. I don't want to be a tastemaker. Don't vote for me. I'm saying that comics needs tastemakers. And I realized that when I was talking about that, because I've been thinking a lot more about it, that like comics, like I was saying that comics needs a tastemaker, like someone with a good Instagram. And then previous to that, I was like, Gerard Way's Instagram is not a tastemaker. And I think it just highlights that I don't know how to make a comic book tastemaker. Like I don't know that there's a solution. There's a gap in the market for it, but I don't know what the solution is. I wish I did, because it's a cool thing that I think that like we need for sure to like move books, let people know that like cool books are out there. I'm glad that you guys are in the Discord telling me what you're buying and stuff, because like there's some cool stuff that I've added to my Amazon wish list that I'm gonna pick up. Although you should really go to an LGS. My LGS is kind of rough. I was kicking around the idea of getting a monthly box there though, because they'll order anything but they don't like have it in stock. But I should really, man, I should be practicing what I preach and like going down to the shop and like picking up comics. Speaking of, are there any books that you guys are super excited about? And if you're watching this on YouTube, leave it in the comments, because like I might open a box and I might need to know what we need in that box. What I should be reading. We need a Nick crate, man. I don't know if we need a Nick crate. A Nick crate would just be like submit your monthly diamond previews order. Yeah. Man, if I do put together a box for the shop though, I will put it in the Discord and let you guys know like what I'm picking up and what I think of it, and if I ever drop anything, why I'm dropping it, etc., etc., etc. Let Nick fill your life. Oh no, this is not a religion. This is just comics. Someone said issue 5 of The Realm's going to be awesome, and I cannot wait for it. Yeah, dude. It's so good. I actually, man, when we finished issue 5, like before I handed it in, I was like, guys, is this... Yeah, I know, Boix, you're a big fan of Gwenpool. I should probably add it. Although, didn't it end? It just ended. Like, I can't add it now. Maybe I can pick up the trades. When we finished issue 5, I sent an email to the team for a Realm, and I was like, guys, do we have a moral obligation to release this? Because if I bought this when I was 15, it would have melted my brain, and I don't want to be responsible for melted brains. And everyone had a good chuckle. It works better when, there's laughter. That's all I gotta say. What I'm saying is my jokes are fine. The audience is questionable. Is what I'm saying. You're reading Kill or Be Killed at the moment. Is that what's his face? Sean Betty. Yeah, Betty's coloring it. Yeah. Yeah. I need to get a laugh track button? You're telling me. You're telling me. There's a little like they actually make these like little pads for streaming. Sean Phillips, yes, thank you. The audience is questioning the jokes. They make these little pads that are like, you know, you hit a button and it'll do scene transitions, camera changes, all that kind of stuff, and you can like customize the buttons. And I really want to get one, but like I can't really justify the price yet. And if I had one, I would definitely have a filmed in front of a live studio audience button. My live studio audience, by the way, is Sweet De Niro, who's sleeping over there, the dog. So yeah, right now we're just trying to make, we're still trying to make sense of all these limbs that are flying around in this space. Trying to get the miracle. Colors and art are top drawer. Yeah, Sean Phillips' stuff and Betty's so fucking good. Her stuff's great. She like colors in a way where she's kind of like doing like these abstract shapes and stuff that like I want to experiment with. Like she's coloring like a painter, if that makes any sense, where like she'll just throw like a shock of color and it won't make any sense with the line art. It'll just like, but it'll kind of work. Yeah, it's very unique. It's interesting. Jordy's Hawkeye is ending. Yeah, I gotta catch up on I was reading that for a while, the Hawkeye stuff. It was really good. I was reading it when David Asho was doing it, but that was like forever ago. My Life as a Weapon stuff. This is the thing with comics and me. Like, I think that if I got a monthly box, I'd like stick with it a little bit more, but I always like kind of like ebb and flow out. Your brain doesn't work that. Yeah, see, Matt? Yeah, I know. Like, her choices that she makes are like so foreign to me, where like I'm like, it looks like she made a painting underneath the line art and like didn't care what the line art was in some places. Like, it's so interesting. I don't know if it's like, if it's ever like, I think Betty should be winning awards, but like I don't know that it's ever totally accessible for people, you know, like I am, you know, went to art school and have an art degree, so like I'm like, I don't know, like I feel like I lean into Betty's work more than like your average comic. Like, the thing is, I don't know if the average guy who's picking up Batman is going to really care one way or the other for Betty's stuff. Yeah, it's, I don't know, it's weird. Yeah, I did like her stuff on the Batman annual was so good. Yeah. Yeah, man. Betty Brentweiser. Whew. Everyone should follow her, by the way, as well. But yeah, I feel like I've entertained the idea of, that's a good point. Oh, about her maybe not being as accessible. Like, I can see like the average like Joe comic book guy being like, I don't get it. It's dumb. It's not in the lines, you know, which is fine. They're welcome to their opinion, which is wrong. Man. These parademons are a challenge. getting there though. We're getting there. I can also Paper Girls, of course. Yeah. Cap's great, except for those lazy colors. Oh my god. Matt, are you just hanging out in the chat self-promoting yourself? Oh my god. And the chat's going along with it. This is a worst case scenario. Good lord. I can tell that I'm starting to get tired because I'm like not speaking as much. My coherent thoughts are starting to dwindle. What are we at? 2 hours almost? Yeah. This guy might roll into... Yeah, we're going to be rolling into part 3 for this, I think. You've taken over! Yeah. Kennedy just showed up and we're leaving. Hey, Eric. What's up, man? Yeah, I think we're going to roll into part 3. Man, I can't stream for more than 2 hours without my brain turning into mush. It's tough talking this whole time and then also making some art. But yeah, we're gonna roll into part 3. Yeah, man, Matt Wilson hanging out. I don't know if you know this, Eric. This is where all the pros are. I don't know if you were aware. This is where all the pros come specifically to heckle me. That's what's going on. Anyway, we're gonna call it for now. But we're gonna come back and we're gonna finish this thing off. I didn't think it would take 3 rounds, but it is apparently. Yeah, you're all honorary pros in the chat now. There's enough pros that are actually in the chat that the rest of you have become pros by simple osmosis. So yeah, we're gonna here, we can cut back to it real quick. So we're gonna try to finish off the Parademons. We got to do a bunch of special effects with the boom tube. We're gonna do a bunch of cool stuff with the yeah. Why are you not following this channel? We're gonna do a bunch of cool stuff with the backgrounds. Kennedy, my man, you're a good dude. You should all follow Eric Kennedy as well. If you're in here and you're into comics and you're not following Eric's channel, you should really, really think about your life choices, get yourself together, follow Eric's channel. He streams much more frequently than I do. I'm trying to get on your level, man. But streaming is tough. But yeah, we're gonna be doing some cool background stuff. Brent kind of dotted in some stars. I think he was thinking about these more as an afterthought. So we're going to enhance what he has down here already, which in a lot of ways is like the colorist job, to kind of pick up the ball and run it the extra, 10 yards in. So we're gonna do that next stream. We're gonna finish the Parademons. We're gonna finish it all off. So I hope you will join us for that. As always, like, follow, subscribe. I don't know. If you're on YouTube, leave comments. If you're in Twitch, whatever, join me in the Discord, all that kind of stuff. Sports analogies, yeah. On my comic stream, questionable. Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you for hanging out, guys. We're gonna call it here, and we're gonna do part 3. We're gonna do part 3 probably on Monday. On the weekend, we're gonna do some video games, maybe some drop mix. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna become a DJ this weekend with drop mix, so you don't want to miss that. Later, guys.